Are you looking for something fun to do with your dog? How about teaching them some fun tricks? So to his nose, slowly lift up, yes, yes, and treat. Food to the nose, slowly lure, yes, and then treat. So tickle, yes, and yes, and treat. Let's teach our dogs how to sit, how to lie down, and how to shake. Do you think we can do that today? Maybe we should use Dexter. I bet Dexter will be ready to learn. Now when you're training with your dog, you want to do short and sweet, so not too long, just a few tries and treats and then do something else. Don't forget, let's grab the grown-up, grab some treats, and let's go have some fun. So at the beginning, I'm going to have the treats nice and small. So I'm going to go ahead and put 5 treats in my hands. At the very beginning, your dog's probably going to be standing there because he doesn't know the sit yet. You're going to take the food to his nose and lure up. And then as soon as that butt hits, that's when you're going to say yes and treat. So from his nose and lure up, yes. And as soon as that butt hits, yes, and then the treat. That yes is telling him he's done it correctly, a reward's to follow. So to his nose, slowly lift up, yes, yes, and treat. So right now, he's just sniffing it, and he's very enthusiastic about food. And then lure up, yes, and then treat. So you're going to go right to his nose, and then lure up, yes, and treat. So you're taking the food lure to his nose and having him lift his head to look at the sky. Yes, and then treat. I'm keeping the treat right at his nose. I'm not lifting high, because watch what happens when I lift high. He's going to come up to grab it. So you want to stay right at their nose and just slowly rock back. So lure, yes, and treat. Lure. Well, so when they do something that you don't want, like that, again, we don't want to say no. We don't want to tell them they're wrong because we want them to feel comfortable about keep trying. Instead, I just ignore it, and then I just reposition the lure so he just doesn't get paid off. And then they'll learn that's not what they wanted. So right to his nose, lure up, yes, and treat. For most dogs, it's easier to start the down position in a sitting position. Food in my hand, and I'm going to go straight to his nose and slowly lure down. And as soon as they drop, yes, and then he gets the treat. And then lure, yes, and then treat. So I'm waiting for those elbows to hit. And when I want to do another, well, he sat up, so that was fine. When I want to do another rep, I can lure to the sit, or I can toss that treat away, or move away to get him to come back up. Food to the nose, lure, and then yes, when those elbows hit. So food to the nose, slowly lure, yes, and then treat. If your dog does anything like paw, like Dexter did, just ignore that. Don't tell them no, because we don't want to give them negative feedback, because then they just don't want to try things. We want them to feel comfortable about trying. They just won't get rewarded for that other behavior. So food to the nose, and then lure and treat. So if your dog's in the sit position, and you lure down and he pops up, a couple things. One, you might be dragging your hand out like this. So you want to make sure that you go straight down. So we're going from his chin straight down to his toes. So his chin straight down to his toes. But I like the dog to do the behavior versus me making him do the behavior. So for a shake, a lot of times you'll see people pick up their dog's paw and they can learn it that way. But I like my dog to offer their paw because that's actually what I'm going to want in the end anyway, is them to do the paw. So food in this hand so that he's up here because I want to go back under here and tickle. Yes, and when he lifts up, yes, and treat. But I'm coming behind his foot and tickling, yes, and when he lifts up, yes, and treat. So for new dogs, I want to kind of keep them up here and then tickle, yes, and as they get better lifting up, yes, and treat. So tickle, so tickle, yes, and yes, and treat. So as they're lifting their foot up, eventually they're going to do it on their own, and you can say your cue like shake. So shake, yes. Shake, yes. Shake, yes. Shake, yes. So what was your dog's favorite trick? Did you find anything hard? Remember, it's always about having fun. And remember, stay positive, and we'll see you next time.
Let me tell you a story about the baddest dog there ever was. Sneaking food from the fridge, tearing up the garbage. He's a goofy old Dexter the Dog. He's a bad, bad Dexter the Dog, the baddest pup that there ever was. Seat stealing all day long, howling like a junkyard dog.